party people. As many of you may know, I have a Lego City, but today is a day for change. We are moving the Lego City into this room of our house. For the last 3 years, the Lego City has been in the primary bedroom of our home, and honestly, I miss having that as a normal bedroom. Plus, we're in the process of moving things around in our house. We're switching around the layout a little bit, so this kind of Lego City switcheroo had to happen. But even though the loft is a slightly smaller space in our house, we can actually fit almost all of the Lego City into this room. The Lego City currently sits on 8 giant IKEA tables, and we can fit 7 into here. That's like 80%, 90%, pretty good. There's 3 walls in here. It's kind of just open to the upstairs. We've already gone ahead and painted the walls blue. I actually chose a different blue color than what we did in the Lego City. We've also replaced the lighting. This is like an LED panel thing that you would typically put in your garage. It's super bright, which is kind of fantastic for the space. I'm still gonna need some of these larger light panels on either side, but that definitely provides a ton of light for the space. And then in the corner, we have some displays with the Eiffel Tower. And then over this way is the current Lego City. As you can tell, it's kind of a disaster right now. We already have this new light in here. It's actually the fan that was in the loft. I was in the other room working when my husband was doing the lighting, and that used to be a fan. I don't know what happened, but he brought in a chainsaw at some point, and now our fan doesn't have any blades. It's wonderful. Not only do we have the city on the tables to start moving to the other room, but we also have a lot of our Lego sets that are just like in our backlog, sets that we have as gift with purchases that we just haven't built. Some of these are even just empty boxes that I like and don't want to get rid of. Our parts organization used to be out here in the loft against the wall. It was kind of super organized and fantastic. It was mostly just against this wall here, and then on the other wall was like a couch and random junk. But all of the Lego organization and storage now lives in Ross's office, which is so much more convenient for him when he's like working on his mocks and builds. So now I think it's time to start moving the Lego City around. Wish me luck.
The next day.
Well, that took forever and was super exhausting, but I am really happy with this result. Welcome to our new Lego City. We haven't decided on an official name yet, but I feel like New Ladyburg kind of works. But before we take a closer look at what's going on in here, let's check out Old Ladyburg. This room is pretty much fully cleared out. This Lego City area is all that's left. The rest of the Lego City is over here on the floor because it was a little bit easier to move. This part is just so connected, and there's 2 tables here, so we just kind of left it for now. I have started dismantling this just a little bit, mostly in the ocean area, so that I can start using that for the new Lego City. I'll show you that later in the video. But it's just really weird looking at this room now with almost nothing in it. It's just kind of storage and, you know, random table in the middle. We did end up moving these glass shelves into here that have a lot of Ross's rare Star Wars sets in them. I showed you earlier that we moved a lot of the Lego storage into Ross's office, so that area is where these used to live. So we got those out of there to make room for the storage. But then looking back in the new Lego City, Ladyburg is just chilling down there. She's having a good time. She might actually be able to help me with this next part because I just want to show you what we're doing under the city here. This is kind of where our sets storage is gonna be. A lot of this back area is kind of rarer sets, a lot of older Star Wars, Indiana Jones, even like some Lego house over there. Just a lot of stuff that we're not planning on building anytime soon, but we're also not getting rid of it. And then over here is kind of more like rarer stuff or like larger sets that we're definitely going to build at some point, but just not yet. For example, I'm saving the Stranger Things set for when the new season comes out. I have a new inbox mystery machine. I have 2 of them built, but I don't know. I'll get to that one eventually. I am planning a Pixar video soon, so stay tuned for the Pizza Planet truck. Oh yeah, and greengrocer. Definitely adding that to the city. You helping me out with this part, Ladybird? You're a good girl. Ladybird wanted to be involved in this part. So under the front part of the Lego City here are all of the sets that I'm gonna get to a lot sooner. There's a lot of these like 3-in-1 sets that look really fun. The panda looks like a really fun one. And then over on this side, it's like about to fall over. Oh my goodness. We have a lot of gift with purchase sets and Lego flowers. I like to bring them out when friends come over, we'll build together, or just as easy gifts. Go over to someone's house and you wanna bring something small, I'll bring like Lego roses. So everything in the front is stuff that just needs to be really accessible and easy to get to. But everything under the Lego City here is just our new in-box sets. All of our built sets are in the garage. So this is the garage. We used to park our cars in here and recently decided to use it for Lego storage and just other random household storage. We have a decent number here of built sets that we love love, but we just don't want to get rid of. For example, the 2016 Disney Castle. We have lots of Lego elves in here. Ross went through and categorized all of his Star Wars stuff, so that's just Star Wars. I don't really know what modern Star Wars is. There's other Star Wars. More modern Star Wars down there. Modern versus classic. I don't really know what that means. This one here is mostly Disney, so that's Frozen. We have Winnie the Pooh, Buzz Lightyear, some army guys. Lots of Ross's old DC superheroes. More modern Star Wars. So that's where all of the bins live. They used to be under the city and now they live in the garage. But looking at the new Lego City now, let's talk about the layout just a little bit. So there's 6 tables here. 6 tables meaning like these giant IKEA tables. They're from IKEA, but I do believe that they are discontinued now, which is kind of a bummer since we already started using them in this system. So if we wanted more, too bad. But there's 6 large tables here, whereas in the old Lego City there were 8. As you can see, we did leave 2 tables behind. But we do also have this kind of smaller table to the side. It's also an IKEA table. It's just a different size than the others. It's mostly covered up, but I hope you can kind of tell. And for the actual layout of the tables, obviously I would need to get into the city somehow. So we have this kind of horseshoe looking thing here. I feel like this is almost too much space. Like I feel like it might be too wide because I'd rather make better use of table space in here because it's not as big as our primary bedroom. We're able to fit a lot in here, which I feel really good about. But if I was able to fill in this space like even 6 inches more or something, I feel like that'd be better. But we're just gonna leave it like this for now. Plus it is comfy enough. There's like enough space here to bring in a large wheelie chair, something really comfy. And then along this whole back area is where I've placed a lot of the larger sets that I just don't know what to do with. Like they don't really have a perfect home in my Lego City, at least not yet. Obviously there's a lot of room to work with, a lot of like creativity that can happen. But we have the haunted house down there. I love that set. I want it in my city, but I'm like, how do I do that? The new X Mansion Assembly Tower and our Ladyburg Tower, aka the Daily Bugle. I feel like it would actually be really cool to have like a superhero square kind of thing going on, especially since these are like such big downtown buildings, and have a town square with a bunch of superheroes in it. I see potential. I think it would be cool. Our Ninjago City and City Gardens. We still don't have docks. One day maybe. And then some Harry Potter at the end over here. I feel like Gringotts and Diagon Alley could fit in if I make it, but it's just currently not at the top of the list for me when city planning. If there's enough outrage in the comments over that, I might change my mind. As for the front part of the Lego City, this is where downtown is going to exist. I need my modulars in my Lego City. They mean so much to me. I've loved collecting them. So obviously they were kind of a top priority for me when kind of figuring out the initial plans for the Lego City. Oh, and something y'all have never seen before actually is Town Square in my Lego City. We bought this set about a year ago and it is used. A lot of the white in the front, that's not just like bad coloring on my camera. It's like pretty yellowed. The pieces are pretty yellowed. And I just haven't added it to the city yet because I didn't go through the process of kind of switching out those yellowed pieces for more pristine white ones. And I still haven't, but I'll get to it. It is on my list. But you can kind of get a general idea of the placement for the modulars here. We're gonna have 2 rows of modulars to form a city block separated by a street and then another row of modulars. The streets here are actually new since the last time you saw the Lego City. I took out the standard 2-lane road plates and decided to make a cobblestone style street system for the Lego City instead. I started decorating plates with a mixture of gray ingot pieces, 1x2 plates, and different tiles in dark and light bluish gray to create some color and texture variations. Also, Ross worked on a quarter circle track so the streetcar can eventually go around the edge of the city. We're using 4-wide tracks rather than the more standard 6-wide tracks because of space. 6-wides are huge and just take up so much more space, which we really don't have that much of in the new Lego City. Installing the cobblestone was simple, but after building a bunch of them, I realized there wasn't really a way to connect them together with Technic pins. I didn't think about that before, and especially with a streetcar and tracks going through, they need to be snug and connected, so I had to redo it a bit. Oops. But it turned out super good though. I'm really happy with it. Then the second big part here is the tracks for the streetcar. I love streetcars. I think they're so cool, so we decided to try to start building a streetcar system for the city. Because for some reason 4-wide tracks aren't made in straight tracks, only curves are, which just seems really weird to me. We found a way to use these long pieces to act as tracks, and they actually work out really well. Then the tiling at the end is always super satisfying here. It took forever, but the result is very worth it. So I am really happy with how it turned out. Obviously, we have some connections to work on. Things are just a little bit uneven with these table levels, but for the most part, it looks really good. I'm still trying to figure out also how to do this kind of curve area, how to make that look good with this technique. It's on the list too, don't worry. And then down here, we have kind of like the main street. We're gonna have a lot of minifigures, maybe like farmer's market, flea market kind of stuff. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out, but But I am excited to start kind of playing around with this. This area in the middle here is going to be like a town square slash like a tram stop, so I need to work on that soon. And then the final city block just on this side. But then something else new in the city that you've probably already noticed, maybe, is the ocean in the front. I've been working on this over the last few days, and I am really happy with kind of the style design that I've gone with. I loved the beach area in my Lego city before, and since there was already so much that was reusable, I started by taking an ocean plate from the old Lego city and transferring over different aspects of the water to the new base plate. For the technique here, I'm just taking 1x2 trans blue tiles and putting a trans blue stud under one side of it, then just kind of sticking them down to create kind of an uneven ripply effect. This is the same technique I used in the city before, and I was really happy with it. Next, for the actual coastline, I really liked this image here of a beachfront mock by SDR Net. I believe Sandro is their name. I took inspiration from the way that they faded the dark tan into light tan, but then I changed it slightly when I built it by using angled pieces for where the dark tan meets the water. Next, I just added some elevation into the beach area as I worked my way to the back of the base plate, and then decided to steal one of the wooden docks that we had in the old Lego city and place it in here. I just thought it was cool. Next, I keep continuing the beach and ocean for I believe 4 base plates total using just similar methods. I'll be adding minifigures and more beach accessories later on, as well as at least 1, but maybe 2 sets of stairs to make it easier to access the beach. And I know what you're probably thinking already. Emily, this ocean right there, it doesn't make sense. It's too close to the downtown. How is that going to work? That's not realistic. I know. That's because we're building a wall between them. So the beach going down the whole way will kind of look like this. I just haven't built the rest of the wall yet. For the large gray wall, I tried a few things before settling on the current design. I have an absurd number of gray masonry bricks in my Lego collection, and so I started by using only these, but I thought it looked bad. It was just too cluttered with the design on the side, so I mixed in a bit more plain gray ones with masonry bricks more as accents, and it turned out really nice, I think. I might go back later and add some pieces with studs on the sides to add some vegetation growing on the wall, or maybe even some graffiti pieces could be cool. But for now, I am pretty happy with it. And then obviously having a giant wall here also doesn't make sense, right? Like, why is there a giant wall and then it would like, what, come back down into downtown? No, we are doing levels in the Lego city again, which I'm very excited about. We have learned a lot about what not to do with a Lego city with doing levels last time we tried it in old Ladyburg. Buying cheap wood was a bad idea. Last time we bought just cheap plywood and there was a lot of bending, kind of bowing in the middle. It wasn't good. I don't recommend. Don't cheap out on stuff like that. We did, and I regret it. But we have some of these table raisers. They're kind of like table legs, but really, really small. And what we're gonna do is raise the downtown, pretty much everything that you see here, up to something about this level. You can see I've already kind of planned for that with the wall. I'll adjust as needed later on. So that then these roads behind it, where all the modulars are, will kind of be like a boardwalk kind of situation. I think that'll be really cool. So this is where we are at with the Lego city so far. I am feeling really optimistic. At first I was kind of nervous that the space wouldn't be big enough. It's really nice having a blank slate with the Lego city. Plus, like I said earlier, we have made so many mistakes when working on a Lego city. I'm really hoping to challenge myself with better building techniques, especially with nature and waterfalls and riverways and stuff like that, but also with buildings. I've never been a good mock builder when it comes to building actual buildings, and that's something I do want to try. We already have the modulars here, obviously, so we don't need like a ton more buildings, but I do think it would be cool to build like a colorful little village over here or something. That could be kind of fun. But yeah, it's kind of overwhelming. This is definitely going to be a big journey, so make sure to stick around. Please subscribe if you're new. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!